Hello everyone. Today we have to discuss about role of essential nutrients in plant metabolism in more detail. Okay. As we in previous lecture we have to discuss various macronutrient, micronutrient. Okay. And in this class we have to discuss some more functionalities or role of essentiality of that nutrients. Okay. So these are the learning objectives of today's lecture. First of all, function of macro and micronutrients and deficiency symptoms of macro as well as micronutrients and to understand difference between the terms manures, fertilizers and biofertilizers. Okay. So, as we discussed in previous lecture, the plant require element that found in the nature for proper growth and development. Okay, and some of these elements are utilized within the physical plant structure, like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay, and these elements obtained from the air uh, by the use of carbon dioxide and water and the basis for carbohydrates like sugar, starch, okay, which provide the strength of cell walls, stems and leaves and also source of energy for the plants as well as organisms that consume the plants. Okay. So first of all, we need to know about what are the criteria of essentiality of nutrients. Okay, why these elements are called essential elements. Okay, so there are 17 elements that are essential for the growth and development of green plant. According to the criteria laid down by Arnold and Stott, which was defined by Arnold, so these criteria are a deficiency of an essential nutrients makes it impossible for the plant to complete the vegetative as well as reproductive stage of its life cycle. Okay, so this is essentiality of nutrients. Okay, if any nutrients can affect the vegetative growth or reproductive growth, so definitely it is comes under the essential nutrients. Okay. So such type of deficiency is specific to the element in questions. Okay, because each and every element has a distinct role in plant growth and development, and can be prevented or corrected only by supplying this element. And the element is involved directly in the nutrition and metabolism of the plants. Okay. So, what are these essential nutrients? So, according to Arnold and Stott, there are 17 elements which are essential for plants. That's why the term use essential nutrients. Okay. So, nickel is the 17th essential nutrients known in 1987. Okay. So essential nutrients are classified into two categories. There are two broad categories there: macronutrients and micronutrients. Okay, so macronutrients are absorbed in large amounts and required in large amount, and micronutrients are required in small amount and absorbed in small amount from soil or fertilizers. Okay. And this is a flowchart of classification of nutrients. So all 17 nutrients are essential nutrients. Okay, but out of 17, 9 are macronutrients and 8 are micronutrients. Okay, and out of 9 and 6 are primary nutrients and 3 are secondary nutrients. Okay, so these are the charts that showing the classification of essential nutrients. So macronutrients are uh, primary nutrients and secondary nutrients. So primary nutrients are both mineral as well as non-mineral nutrients. Okay. So non-mineral are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and mineral nutrients are nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Okay. And the second nutrients include calcium, magnesium, sulfur. Okay. And these all are micronutrients. Okay, so these eight are micronutrients. Okay, which require in a small amount. Okay, and these are boron, manganese, copper. Okay, you have to remember in the group of 3 3, and zinc, molybdenum, chloride, and iron, nickel. Okay, and nickel is the 17th essential nutrient which discovered in 1987. Okay, so it is the last element which is discovered as a essential nutrients. Okay, now what is the role of nitrogen? So we already know that nitrogen is the major component of plant cell and cell wall. Okay, and cell cytoplasm as well as organelles that contain nitrogen in combination with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur. Okay, and it is also the necessary for formation of amino acid. Okay, because you know that amino acid contain nitrogen. Okay, and that's why it is building block of proteins and essential for plant cell division, and it is vital for plant vegetation growth. Okay, and it is also the integral part of chlorophyll, and it is necessary component for vitamins also, and it improve the quality of leaf vegetables and also affect energy reactions in the plants. Okay, so that it can participate also in the metabolism of plants. And these are the deficiency symptoms of nitrogen. If there is a deficiency in nitrogen in the plant, so we can it observed by the these uh, physical characteristics. Okay, so lower leaves in absence of nitrogen become yellow, and firstly and dries, and tillering is poor in cereal. Okay, tillering means the branching in the cereal plant, and stunted growth is observed in the plant. And in case of cabbage, there is no formation of hairs has been observed, and V-shaped chlorosis observed on older leaves. Okay, so these are the physical symptoms of nitrogen deficiency. Phosphorus. So phosphorus has great role in energy storage and transfer in the form of ATP and ADP. Okay, so it is also called energy currency. Okay, and it is essential constituents of nucleic acid, phytin, phospholipid. Okay, and it involved in photosynthesis, respiration, cell division, and its enlargement of cell. And phosphorus promote early root formation as well as growth. Okay, and phosphorus improve quality of fruits, vegetables as well as grains. And phosphorus is vital for seed germination and seed formation. And phosphorus is and even excess phosphorus can cause deficiency of certain other micronutrients. Okay, like zinc and iron. Okay, so these are the role of phosphorus in the plant. Okay, and what are the deficiency symptoms has been observed if there is a phosphorus deficiency in the plant? So deficiency symptoms are appears first on older leaves. Okay, so deficiency impart dark green colors in leaves, and bronzing or red purple coloration of leaves due to synthesis of anthocyanin has been observed, and development of lateral buds is suppressed in case of deficiency of phosphorus. Okay. Now the next essential nutrients, potassium, and potassium is the most essential function that is stomata regulation. Okay, like in the transpiration or stomata closing and opening, we have to discuss that the potassium ion influx or outflux depend on influx and outflux responsible for the opening and closing of the stomata. Okay, and potassium increase water use efficiency, and potassium also provide resistance to various bacterial or fungal disease, and formation and translocation of sugar carried out in presence of potassium, and it increase photosynthesis in plants, and it also activates enzymes and control their reaction rates, and it improves quality of seeds as well as fruits, and it improves winter hardiness. Okay, and in plants, potassium also reduce the transpiration rate and increase photosynthetic rate. Okay, so these all are the function of potassium. And what are the deficiency symptoms of potassium? So potassium is scorching or burning of margin of older leaves. Okay, so due to the deficiency, the burning margin in older leaves has been observed, and weakening of straw in grain crops, and reduction in toxicity of cell due to the deficiency of potassium, and deficiency of potassium observed in the dead tissue at tips in which there is a spots. We have to see on the leaves and tips of tissue, and keeping quality of fruits and vegetables is reduced. Okay, so these all are the deficiency symptoms which we have to observe if there is a deficiency of potassium. And calcium is also essential nutrients. So it constitutes of cell wall. Okay, how it responsible for the short cell wall? Because the component of cell wall is pectin. Okay, and pectin is present as a calcium pectate. Okay, which is a salt of calcium, and it helps to maintain membrane permeability and stability. Okay, and retard excision and sensation of leaves. Okay, and important for growth of meristem and functioning of root tips. Okay, and calcium neutralize the charge on acidic molecules of phosphoric acid, and some organic acid like citric acid, malic acid, oxalic acid, which are injurious to the plant growth. Okay, and calcium play an important role in germination of pollen and growth of pollen, and calcium increase modulation in legumes, and calcium required for cell division as well as cell elongation. And what are the deficiency symptoms? So these are the deficiency symptoms of calcium. Okay. So deficiency symptoms first appear on younger leaves. Okay, and its deficiency is manifested by failure of terminal buds and apical roots to develop. Okay, so these are the consequences of their deficiency, and ultimately the growth of plant will be affected, and and it also leads to the tripburn of cabbage, cauliflower. Okay, and in the black heart of celery has been observed, and blossom end rods of tomato. Okay, and berry and bitter pit of apple. Okay, so these are the physical symptoms of deficiency of calcium. Okay, see that these are the blossom and rot of tomato. Okay, this is due to the deficiency of calcium. Okay, sometimes you have to observe this kind of spot on the tomato. Okay, and bitter pit of apple. Okay, so this kind of spot on the apple due to the deficiency of calcium. Okay, this kind of spot. Okay. Now, magnesium. So, key element of chlorophyll production is the magnesium, and magnesium also improve utilization and mobility of phosphorus in the plants, And magnesium activate and component of many plants enzyme. Okay, which is because it is act as a cofactor of enzymes. Okay, and magnesium directly related to the gas criteria. Okay, and increase iron utilization in plants, and magnesium influence earliness and uniformity of maturity. Okay, so early maturity has been observed in the adequate supply of magnesium, and it required for the reaction that involving phosphate transfer from ATP. Okay, because it require magnesium dependent enzyme. And what are the deficiency symptoms of magnesium? So magnesium may occur on acid soil, sandy soil, soil with high potassium level, and magnesium deficiency symptoms first appear on older leaves, and it manifests themselves in terms of intervenal chlorosis. Okay, so that intervenal chlorosis also has been observed due to deficiency of magnesium. And in the grass, there is a grass tetany is observed. Grass tetany is a particularly disorder or nutritional deficiency disorder that common in cattle grazing on magnesium deficient pasture. Cattle consume low magnesium forage may suffer from hypomagnesemia. Okay, and which is abnormally low level of magnesium in the blood, and sand down disease observed in the tobacco due to deficiency of magnesium. And sulfur. So sulfur required for sulfur-containing amino acids such as cysteine, methionine. Okay, as we know that all these are the sulfur-containing amino acids. Okay, which require sulfur for their synthesis. And sulfur is required for the synthesis of volatile compound that responsible for characteristic taste, smell in the plants of mustard and onion. Okay, this is the smell of the mustard, onion. Okay, so this is due to the sulfur content. And pungency in onion due to allyl propyl disulfide. Okay, this is a compound which is found in the onion. Okay, and in the mustard oil, that smell due to the allyl isocyanates. Okay, and sulfur also improve the oil quality of oilseed crops, and sulfur improve the baking quality in cereal grain, and sulfur necessary in chlorophyll formation. Okay, and what are the deficiency symptoms of sulfur? Okay, so first appear on young growths. Okay, young leaves, as it is immobile in plants, and fading of normal green color in young leaves also has been observed, followed by chlorosis is the most common deficiency symptoms, and older leaves become puckered with the inward residia between the veins has been observed. And in brassicas, which are most susceptible to the deficiency of sulfur. In this plants, the leaves are narrow and shows cupping, that means curling of leaf margin, and arresting of the growing point has been observed due to the deficiency of this essential nutrients. Okay, you have to see that these are the various leaves which shows the deficiency of the phosphate. Okay, this leaves show the deficiency of phosphate. Okay, you have to easily compare it with the healthy leaves, and this leaves showing the deficiency of potassium. Okay, we can easily compare with the healthy leaves. Okay, and due to the nitrogen deficiency, this kind of a physical appearance we have to observe in the leaves. Okay, so these are the deficiency of symptoms of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Now, micronutrients. Okay, as we know that micronutrients are boron, chlorine, copper, iron, manganese, molybdenum, zinc, nickel. Okay, these are the micronutrients. Okay, so these plant food elements are used in very small amount, but they are just as important to plant development and profitable crop production as the major nutrients. Okay? Especially they work behind the scene as an activator of many plant function. Okay, and they are the activator of many plant hormones and many enzymes, cofactor uh, work is okay. So the first micronutrients are boron. So boron is the only non-metal element, okay, among the micronutrients, okay. And boron is essential for germination of pollen grains, and boron is also essential for growth of pollen tube, and boron is necessary for sugar translocation in the plants, and boron is also essential for seed as well as cell wall formation, and boron promote maturity of plant, and boron due to the boron test in polyflor is different, okay. So the test which we have to observe is slightly different due to the presence of boron, okay. And what are the deficiency symptoms of boron? So, browning of cauliflower due to the deficiency of boron, and its deficiency cause sickness of tobacco and fruit cracking in tomato and hard fruit of citrus and hen and chicken disease of grapes and hollow stem of cauliflower. Okay, so these all are the deficiency symptoms in case of deficiency of boron. Okay, and chlorine. So chlorine plays a very important role in osmoregulation. Okay, you know that osmoregulation is the phenomena why we see the osmotic potential balance has been achieved in the plant. Okay, you know that if there is a imbalance of osmotic potential, so there is either exoosmosis take place and either endoosmosis take place, which ultimately affect the target pressure of the plant. Okay, so that's why the chlorine in abundance suppress the plant disease, and it also regulates the target potential of the leaves. And chlorine is cofactor in the manganese containing water splitting enzyme in the photosystem second. Okay. Next is copper. So copper is the component of plastocyanin. Okay, plastocyanin is the pigment. Okay, or it is a color pigment. Okay, and copper catalyze several plant processes like desaturation, hydrolysis of fatty acid, and copper is also essential for photosynthesis, and it enhances the fertility of male flowers and impart disease resistance in the plants as well as flavor of fruits and vegetables due to the copper containing compound. And now the deficiency symptoms of copper. So, due to the deficiency of copper, sterility of male fruits has been observed, and chlorosis of younger shoot tissue, necrosis, and leaf distortion are the characteristics deficiency symptoms. And due to the deficiency, the reclamation disease of citrus and dies back of citrus has also been observed, and pneumosis and xanthomania disease of citrus due to this element deficiency. And iron, as you know that iron promotes synthesis of chlorophyll, okay, which is required for the photosynthesis, and it acts as an oxygen carrier. Okay, so many cytochrome, which are the part of electron transport chain containing iron. Okay, so it acts as an oxygen carrier, okay, and it involved in cell division as well as growth, okay, and it acts as an enzyme activator, okay. So you have to clearly see that iron deficiency in the leaf. Okay, this is normal leaves without iron deficiency, and this is leaves with iron deficiency. Okay. Now, deficiency symptoms are, so the complete intervenal chlorosis has been observed due to the iron deficiency, and scorching of leaves margin also has been observed, and growth of plant is poor due to the iron deficiency, as the photosynthesis efficiency is declined, and dry matter accumulation is adversely affected. Okay, now the manganese. So manganese function as a part of the certain enzyme as a cofactor, and it helps in the chlorophyll synthesis, and it increase the availability of phosphorus and carbon to the plants, and manganese is required for maintenance of chloroplast structure. Okay, and what are the deficiency symptoms? So deficiency symptoms include the more severe on middle leaves than on younger leaves. And on dicot plant, interveinal chlorosis has been observed, and on monocot plant, the greenish gray spot and strip on basal leaves has been observed. Okay, and due to the deficiency of manganese, uh, the disease in sugarcane, this is called Pehla blight, has been observed, and the gray specks of oats, this is due to the deficiency of manganese. Mars spots on peas due to deficiency of manganese, and speckled yellow of sugar beets due to deficiency of manganese. Okay, and sometimes their toxicity also there. Okay, so toxicity of manganese leads to the wrinkle leaf of cotton. Okay, toxicity when the excess quantity observed by the plants. Okay, and molybdenum. So molybdenum required to form the enzyme nitrate reductase, okay, which require in the nitrogen assimilation in the plants. And molybdenum helps in the formation of root nodules, and you know that root nodules helps in the nitrogen fixation, and molybdenum is required for sweetness in carrots as well as raffinus, and white tail of polyphenol is due to the deficiency of molybdenum as we observed. Okay, and zinc also is the essential nutrients, and zinc is the constituents of three enzymes named carbonic anhydrase, alcohol dehydrogenase, superoxide dismutase. Okay, so all these enzymes require zinc as a cofactor. Okay, and the zinc helps in plant growth hormone as well as enzyme system, and zinc influence translocation and transport of phosphorus in the plants, and also important for synthesis of tryptophan, which is a amino acid required for the protein synthesis during translation, and it is necessary for chlorophyll production, and helps also helps in the seed formation. And due to the deficiency of zinc, particularly first appear on younger leaves, and in many plants its deficiency produce a symptoms known as rosette. Okay, in which the plant growth of main shoot is drastically reduced. Okay, while the secondary shoot come up in large number. Okay, so plant look like different as compared to the normal plant, and it also cause Khera disease in rice, white buds in maize, little leaves in cottons. All these disease due to the deficiency of zinc. Okay, and the next part of this lecture is the source or uptake form of nutrients. Okay, so carbon uptake in the form of a carbonate ion or H2CO3. Okay, and hydrogen uptake by the plant is hydrogen ion or hydroxide ion. Okay, so oxygen absorbed by the plant. Okay, or uptake by the plant in the form of hydroxide ion. Okay, and nitrogen absorbed by the plant in the form of nitrate or ammonium ion, and phosphorus absorbed in the form of HPO4. Okay, 2 minus, and H2PO4 minus. Okay, so these are the uptake form of these essential nutrients. And potassium absorbed in the form of potassium ion, chlorine absorbed in the form of chloride ion. Okay, so this is very essential part, because we know that it is not happen that carbon absorbed in the form of carbon. Okay, so the uptake form are different from their elemental form. Okay, And calcium absorbed in the form of calcium ion, magnesium absorbed in the form of magnesium ion, sulfur absorbed in the form of sulfate ion, boron absorbed in the form of boric acid and or borate ion, and manganese absorbed in the form of manganese ion, copper absorbed in the form of copper ion, zinc absorbed in the form of zinc ion, molybdenum absorbed in the form of MO2 minus ion, and iron absorbed in the form of ferrous ion, ferric ion, and nickel absorbed in the form of nickel ion. Okay, so these components absorbed in their ionic form. Okay, not their elemental form. Okay. Now the next part of this lecture is manures. Okay, what is manures? Okay, and how it differs from the fertilizer and biofertilizer. Okay, so manure may be defined as materials which are organic in origin. Okay, organic in their origin. Okay, so at that time the term used manure. Okay, hard. Okay, which are bulky, concentrated in nature, and capable of supplying plant nutrients and improving soil physical environment, having no definite chemical composition. Okay, this is important point. There is no definite chemical composition like fertilizer, which is have a fixed composition NPK. Okay, with low analytical value produced from animal, plant, and other organic waste or their byproduct. Okay? So all these products are manures. Okay, and organic manures are included well rotten farms yard manure, compost, green manure, oil cakes. Okay, so all these comes under the manure, so which didn't have well-defined composition. Okay, but organic in nature. Okay, can supply plant nutrients. Okay, and the organic manure are two types: the bulky organic manure and concentrated organic manure. Okay, so what are these terms used for? Bulky organic manures is mainly derived from animal, plants, and other organic wastage. Okay, and green plant tissue wastage, and they generally contain less amount of plant nutrients as compared to the concentrated organic manure. Okay, for example, compost, okay, and green manure. Okay, so these are the bulky organic manure, while the concentrated organic manure is mainly derived from the raw material of animal or plant origin. Okay, uh, the wastage. This is not a wastage, but this is raw material. Okay, so of animal and plant origin, and concentrated organic manure have higher nutrient than bulky organic manure, because these are the wastage and these are the raw materials. Okay, so example are oil cakes, blood meals, meat meals, bone meals. Okay, so these are the concentrated organic manure which has higher concentration of the essential nutrients. Okay, now the second term is fertilizer. Okay, so fertilizer may be defined as the material that having definite chemical composition. Okay, definite. Okay, not indefinite. Definite chemical composition with higher analytical value. Okay, and capable of supplying plant nutrients in available forms. Okay, so it is have a definite chemical composition. Okay, so the various types of fertilizer is there, like straight fertilizer may be defined as fertilizer which contain only one major nutrient. Okay, so these are for straight fertilizer. Any fertilizer for only the nitrogen, fertilizer is only for the phosphorus, fertilizer only for the potassium. Okay, so these are called straight fertilizer, like urea, ammonium sulfate. Okay, so these are called the straight fertilizer. Okay, urea or ammonium sulfate. Urea particularly provide nitrogen. Okay, and ammonium sulfate particularly provide sulfur. Okay, so and binary fertilizer that contain two major constituents. Okay, which can provide the two major essential nutrients like potassium nitrate. It also provides the potassium in sufficient quantity as well as nitrogen in sufficient quantity. Okay, so these are the binary fertilizer. And tertiary fertilizer that contain three major constituents. Okay, like ammonium, potassium, sulfate. Okay, and nitrogen it can provide, phosphorus it can provide. Okay, in potassium it can provide, and sulfur it can provide. Okay, so that's why this is called tertiary fertilizer. Okay, and another term is compound or complex fertilizer. which this term used for the fertilizer material which contain more than one major nutrients that produced by the process of chemical reaction. Okay, so like DAP, okay, like ammonium phosphate. Okay, so these are the complex fertilizer which can provide the more than three. Okay, so so that time this is called complex. Okay, because these are the derived form of fertilizer. Okay, derived form of fertilizer. Okay, and mixed fertilizer. So when state fertilizer are blended together physically to permit application in the field in the one operation. Okay, so it is called mixed fertilizer. Okay, when we mix the different essential nutrient containing fertilizer in a particular ratio as per the requirement of plant. Like we have to prepare media for the plant tissue culture in the same way they have to mix the fertilizer in the proper proportion. Okay, so at that time the term use mixed fertilizer. And the complete fertilizer is that, as the name suggests, fertilizer which contain all three major nutrients. Okay, like N, P, K. Okay, which are major जो है macro nutrients. Okay, and incomplete fertilizer contain any two of major nutrients. Okay, so that time the term is incomplete fertilizer. Okay, and no analysis fertilizer, the fertilizer having less than 25% of the primary nutrients. Okay, so at that time the term used no analysis fertilizer. And high analysis fertilizer having more than 25% of the primary nutrients. Okay, so these are the high analysis fertilizer. Okay, so these are the various terms used for a fertilizer. And again, three types of fertilizer is there, like nitrogenous fertilizer and phosphatic fertilizer and potassic fertilizer. Okay, so it on the basis of element or essential nutrients they provide comes under the category. Okay, like you know that nitrogen fertilizer the most popular is urea, and phosphorus fertilizer most popular is DSP, and potassic fertilizer the most familiar is muriate of potash. Okay, so these are the three kinds of fertilizer. And now the third term used is biofertilizer. Okay, so biofertilizer, as the name suggests, are defined as the preparation that containing live cell, okay, and latent cell of efficient strain of nitrogen fixing either bacteria and phosphate solubilizing or cellulitic microorganism used for application to seed, soil or composting area with the objective of increase soil fertility that help plant growth and development by increasing their number and biological activities. Okay, so if any type, any form of fertilizer which contain the live plant, live organism, live bacteria, live microorganism. So it okay, but the point is that it increase the growth and development of plant. Okay, it used for the increment of the growth and development of plant. Okay, so that time that term used biofertilizer. Okay, so biofertilizer are of three types. Like nitrogen fixing biofertilizer and phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer and cellulitic or organic matter decomposer. Okay, so these are the biofertilizer. Okay, so this chart showing the classification of biofertilizer, like nitrogen fixing biofertilizer. It include the rhizobium, okay, for legumes, and azotobacter, azospirillum, blue-green algae, azolla for non-leguminous plant. Okay, so it can provide the nitrogen for the plant. And phosphorus solubilizing biofertilizer like Bacillus, Pseudomonas aspergillus. Okay, it is PO4 3 minus. Okay, solubilizer. Okay, and another one is vesicular or vascular mycorrhiza. These are the phosphate absorber. Okay, and the third category is organic matter decomposition. And these are cellulitic organisms which can degrade cellulose, like cellulomonas, trichoderma, okay, spores, and lignolytic organisms like Enterobacter and Agaricus. Okay, these can degrade the lignin content. Okay, so these are the three kind of biofertilizer. Okay. Now, the fertilizer preparation with rhizobium culture is known as nitrogen, and the bacterial fertilizer azotobacter procopum is known as azotobacterium. Okay, and in addition, nitrogen economy in soil, several soil bacteria like Pseudomonas, Bacillus, as well as fungi like Penicillium, Aspergillus have the ability to bring insoluble phosphate in the soil into the soluble form. Okay, so this form plant can easily absorb by secreting various organic acid like formic acid, acetic acid, that lower the pH of soil and bring the dissolution of bound form of phosphate. Okay, and the culture of both azotobacter and azospirillum are used for non-leguminous crops for the nutrition of nitrogen. Okay, because you know that nitrogen is very essential for the plant growth and development. And culture of blue-green algae like cyanobacteria and azolla are used for the lowland rice cultivation as algal biofertilizer. And the application of soil-based alga mixture is 10 to 15 kilogram per hectare is generally recommended for rice field. And azolla can also be used as a biofertilizer, and some important species are Azolla pinnata, Azolla mexicana, Azolla carolinian, Azolla microphylla. Azolla pinnata is the most common species that used as a biofertilizer for nitrogen deficiency. And the application of 10 ton per hectare fresh azolla is an efficient as basal application of 25 to 30 kilogram uh, per hectare. Okay, so these are the references of the lecture. Okay, so now we have to discuss some question related to the topic. Okay, so Josila, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Josila, what are the criteria for essentiality of nutrients? These are the options. A plant cannot complete its life cycle in the absence of the element. This is the criteria, or the action of the element must be specific, with no other element being able to completely substitute for it. Is there? This is the answer. Or the element must be shown to be directly involved in the nutrition of the plant. It must be a constituent of metabolic pathway, or at least be required for the activity of an essential enzyme. Okay, so what are the best answer for this question?
Uh, sir, I think all of them.
Correct, because all are the related to the essentiality of nutrients. Okay, so very good. And macronutrients are okay. So carbon, hydroxygen, or nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, or magnesium, calcium, sulfur. Okay, so which of them are macronutrients?
Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen.
So these are
Mm,
macronutrients.
ni-
Okay, and NPK,
Uh,
NPK,
sir, all of them.
all of them. Okay, because all are the macronutrients. Okay. Very good. And what are the micronutrients? Copper, manganese, or iron, zinc, or nickel, cobalt.
Mm, 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 mm,
Yes,
mm.
these all are the
Uh,
micronutrients. Okay. Now, nutrients that helps in determining the solute concentration and the anion cation balance of the cells. Okay. So which of required for the solute concentration as well as anion cation balance. Okay, so think about which element has this potential. chloride. Okay, because chloride is the ion. Okay, that's why chloride can balance anion cation of the cell. Okay, and preparation that contain live cell is called.
Biofertilizer.
Okay, very good. And biofertilizer are nitrofixing biofertilizer, either phosphate solubilizing biofertilizer or cellulite organic matter decomposer.
All
Which
of
of the
them.
best answer of biofertilizer?
All of them.
All of them, because all are the biofertilizer. Okay, because some of them are nitrogen fixing biofertilizer, some of them phosphate solubilizing, some of them cellulitic. Okay, and material that having definite chemical composition with higher analytical value and capable of supplying plant nutrients in available form. Okay, and that chemical compound that have definite chemical composition are manure, biofertilizer, or fertilizer.
Um,
Definite chemical composition, not indefinite.
Fertilizers. Fertilizer.
Fertilizer, very good. Fertilizer. Okay, so thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir.